Hi everyone. In today's discussion, I plan to argue that relational databases will not become extinct anytime soon. While new technologies appear and gain traction, a solid foundation must be in place before companies completely adopt non-relational databases. Relational databases provide that foundation and baseline for newer models and non-relational databases. Let's consider the advantages and disadvantages of both relational and non-relational databases to fully understand why relational databases are here to stay. Relational databases use a structured approach to store data through tables or spreadsheets that are interconnected with one another. This connectedness is how relational databases get the relational part of its name. Information from one table can contribute to the outcome of another or add value to another table. Within each table, there is a primary key, typically a user ID or order ID, which is the most significant attribute used as an identifier. For example, let's say there is a class of students with associated grades, registration date, and date of birth. The primary key would be student ID. When data is merged from one table to another table, specifically the primary key, that key now becomes the foreign key, since the new table has a primary key as its own unique identifier. For example, alongside the student table, there is a contact table that stores all the contact information for students, including phone number, physical address, and email address. The primary key would be the contact ID, while the foreign key would be the student ID. This relationship allows the requester to figure out which contact ID correlates with the respective student ID. For instance, student 1 has an A and can be contacted at 111-1111. The advantages associated with relational databases include consistency, security, and ease of backup and recovery. Relational databases remain consistent since they are structured and highly organized. System administrators know exactly what is stored and can take data out with ease. Considering security, companies have proprietary information that they want to keep secure. Using a relational database, encryption of this data ensures confidentiality. With backup and recovery, relational databases typically store information in local servers, which promotes creating backups and saving information more often. Non-relational databases can store information in several different ways, whether it's storing data values in keys, columns, graphs, or documents. As a result, non-relational databases have increased flexibility to store data, which encourages companies to use non-relational databases due to the types of sub-databases they can choose from. They can store more information in different locations rather than increasing processing power and storage in the local rack, otherwise known as horizontal scalability, and cost effectiveness is also a factor due to less hardware and software licenses being needed. The fact that it depends on the situation for when to use relational versus non-relational databases means that relational databases are here to stay. Kulkarni suggests that non-relational databases like NoSQL adopted their own query language, which overcomplicated the system and caused employees to revert to SQL for syntax familiarity as well as educating and training new users. Further, relational databases require data to be stored in a certain way, the same way every single time and without duplicating information, which enables users to access information they need and only the information they need via a specific retrieval method. While a non-relational database can store more information quickly, relational databases store more organized information. The role of each database will depend on a company's intent. If the company is working with a large amount of similar data that may need to be sifted through for specific information, I would recommend a relational database. If the company needed to implement processes quickly for a developing program, storing information and data at a much faster rate, I would recommend a non-relational database. Thank you so much. I look forward to your responses.